Okay, let's talk a little bit now about WordPress Lock-Down. Okay, what specifically is the end user going to get? What exactly do I do? Now, you might want to get your pen and paper out for this, because those who already know how to modify the files probably know about this, but most likely some people won't. So I'm really pleased to share the 10-point checklist with you today. This is what I do on your behalf. I add coding to disable directory browsing. If you remember earlier, I spoke about directory browsing. So this is a technique that if your directory can be browsed from an outside source, scanned by these bots that the hackers send to our site, they can actually find out what you have installed and how they're going to attack your site. By disabling directory browsing, the bots are not able to scan any of your directories. Therefore, you already stopped them right there. And that's only step one. Next, this is actually a little bonus I threw in. I'm going to add GScript compression code, which increases your load time of your page. This is just something I always like to add. I like to add extra value to anything that I do, but this will actually increase the performance of all your pages. Next, we'll protect your .htaccess file directly from access or modification. So not only am I going to lock down the .htaccess files that we do modify, but we want to make it so they cannot be modified directly or even accessed by anybody else. Next, recommend modifying specific folder permissions. We'll consult directly with the end user before making any changes. As I said earlier, sometimes when you start locking down folders, it can affect depending on which plugins or themes you're using. And if it does, it won't detrimentally affect it. It's just I'll have to switch back and open up those particular folders for access again. But I rarely see a real problem with folder permissions, just every once in a while. That's why I always bring that up. So we'll go ahead and make adjustments to your folders, which again will protect you and your site. I'll provide backups of your modified .htaccess files and teach you how to take care of a regular backing up of those specific files over time. Okay, next. I'll block all IP addresses from your login page. Now we'll put exceptions here. I mentioned this earlier, but there are exceptions, and it's important because let's say you have a business site or store or an online commerce store or a membership site and you have users. All you need to do is take that one extra step of getting your end users' IP addresses prior to them joining your site, and that one major step can stop a huge infiltration of your site from hackers. So always block IP addresses from your login page, and of course I'll teach you how to add the exceptions directly into the .htaccess file. We'll set coding to protect your wp-config file from hackers. Now the wp-config file is an important file because upon installation of WordPress, this particular file it can be modified to repoint and connect your WordPress PHP file system to your SQL database files. It also can be used to be modified, and this is where modification of that file can actually get your site hacked quite easily. So what we'll do is we'll lock down your wp-config file so that cannot be modified by the hackers if they happen to locate it. Next, we'll prevent search engine indexing of your WordPress core files. I'll add a robot.txt file to the root directory with required coding. Now what's so powerful about preventing indexing is we want Google to index our sites, but you do not want them to index your core WordPress files. So this particular step here takes care of hiding that. So you tell that robot.txt file tells the robots that are the good ones coming from Google not to index your core files. Therefore, once again, you're protecting the location of those files or the type of filing system that you have as well. Next, we'll secure your admin folder itself by modifying the folder permissions. Only if the step is compatible with your current plugins, themes, and hosting provider configuration. Most of the time it is. I have not had any problems locking down any of the 4 sites that I have as far as the admin folder itself. So we lock down the folder permissions, and that keeps the hackers out. And of course, we'll add a 20-minute phone or Google Plus video consultation. If you don't have Google Plus and you're watching this and you're a visitor of Google today, we can also use Skype to qualify for the reduced pricing. We encourage you to sign up for Google Plus if you have not done so already. It's a spectacular interface, and this is a requirement. Okay, so I've included a very powerful bonus. I really believe that the most value that we can provide to end users and everybody in the WordPress family today is not only do we provide the lockdown package, but how about locking down and understanding that there's more things that I could do for you. And one of those, I have included a bonus. The vulnerability in question comes from a timthumb.php script. It's a photo size utility used by many third-party WordPress plugins that allows hackers to write whatever content they point to as long as a few restrictions are met. I will set up protection from this well-known vulnerability that is currently being used to compromise more than 1.2 million websites and could be easily used to siphon data out of databases. Now, what's so important about this is WordPress knows about it, and there's already a fix in place. But the problem is if you don't update this timthumb.php script on a regular basis, this is another script file that the hackers are looking for that is out of date. If it is out of date and you've never updated it, then this is a tool that the hacker uses to get into your system. So I'll add this as a powerful bonus to everybody who actually qualifies for a package or signs up for our WordPress Security Lock-Down Package today.